That was a fun tune. Welcome to Chain Reactions, the show that breaks down all of the marketing around you. I'm your host, Arnav, head of media here at Myson, and today we have a fresh face joining the show, Victoria, who's head of marketing ops at Myson. Victoria, thank you so much for being here on the show today.
Oh my God, I'm super stoked. I've been a part of Myosin for almost 3.5 years and I've never been on Chain Reaction. So I'm excited to do this and show my face.
It's about time. It's about time. And of course, we have our returning co-host, Polina, head of content here at Myson. Hey, Polina,
Hello,
how's the
hello,
energy?
everyone. Now better. After this tune and everything, I was like getting in my zone.
Calms the
Now
nerves
I'm
down.
ready.
We like to ease into the ranting we're going to do over the next 90 minutes.
That's
So
right.
let's get a
I think the caffeinated mate drink is helping me as well. Not sponsored.
yeah. Victoria, probably from the next time, you got to have your caffeine ready to go. Oh,
I
there
really
we go.
brought an
He's
old school
prepared.
coffee, so that's as much as I've got over here.
Yeah, no, she's prepared. Okay, really excited about the show today. We're gonna cover a bunch of different things, and I think stories that I haven't seen people talk about. So there's the event there, a few things that happened with Anthropic, a huge news from Google that I've seen absolutely nobody talk about, which has great implications on our day to day at least. And we're going to have our first external guest on the show, Lizzie Lawley, who's head of applied AI at Memrise. So I'm stoked about the show today. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into water cooler. The goal of the segment: we don't want to cover news. We're gonna take the world around you and try to make sense of it. Because honestly, very few people do, and we get annoyed by that. So here we are. The first story today is actually about Claude Sonnet. So Sonnet 5 launched, and there was a certain price hike that was in the books. So Anthropic keeps going back and forth on whether they want to do a price hike, they don't want to do a price hike. It's just like it's in a weird place at this moment. I want to get your guys' thoughts on, and there are two stories that we're covering on Anthropic. So one is the price hike for Sonnet 5, and of course, Fable 5's um, grand return, probably. Although I didn't, nobody seemed that excited about the returning of Fable 5 than they were about the banning of Fable 5. So let's get our thoughts. Victoria, what are you thinking about Sonnet Price 5 hike and Fable's return? I want to know, does it impact your daily life, really? Do you even care at this
I
point?
mean,
There's something
I
new.
yeah, I mean, I think like in Myosin, outside of Myosin, I'm an ops person at heart. My job is to make sure people are optimizing their productivity and that we're keeping our margins lean and profitable for the business. And I think when we're seeing so many layoffs occur across industries and this quote ethos of like replace with AI or use AI every day to like optimize your productivity and output in your job, when we see price hikes that are hidden, we don't really understand the implications of that to your bottom line of the business. And I think a lot of businesses were banking on replacing salaries and saving costs. And I truly think that this is going to take us in the other direction because Sonnet 5 is great, but I still don't think any LLM system is at a point where human in the loop is not required. And there's still a massive investment in AI tooling, but only 5% of those same companies are investing in human training of using tools properly. So, with all of that occurring, I think it's going to cost companies more than they realize.
Paulina, this is probably second week in a row that we're covering Anthropic and their models specifically.
Mhm.
I want to know from your perspective, do you feel like, because we use Claude on a daily basis and we use it extensively, does it
Mhm.
really, like, does a price hike make you more or less determined to use Claude for the kind of work you're using it for? Do you feel like oh, there's a price hike, and from a scale perspective, my day-to-day perspective, I want to switch models. Or Fable 5 coming back makes me more excited about Claude, less excited about Claude. I would love to know your thoughts on this.
I mean, I get some people's excitement about Fable 5, but if you're using Fable 5 to do, I don't know, to draft a copy for, a LinkedIn post or something easy as that, that's just dumb, in my opinion. Like, it's not like Fable 5 has way more taste or way more context right off the bat than any Opus 4.6. I still use older models for most of the copy drafting and stuff like that to just generate ideas and then get it done by a human after. I'm always of the opinion of token maxing culture is really stupid. Like, if you're optimizing for spending more tokens, that's just not the right thing to incentivize people to use AI, because that's just unhealthy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think some open source models are as good as or better, than some of the non-open source ones. I get that Claude is like a household name. I love Claude. I use Claude for most of the deep thinking and planning tasks. But the reality is, DeepSeek models are amazing. Minimax models for some of the daily, recurring things are just as good as anything else. And if you do the setup as a company that wants to scale operations for multiple employees that might not be as deep into it, just do the proper training first, because there were already, multiple times I see Polymarket tweet all the time how a company's employee accidentally spent 100K, 500K in credits, and then they scaled back their program. It's just how? I don't get
Ford,
it.
actually, Ford announced very recently that they're rehiring a lot of people that they previously fired to train, to quote unquote, train the AI to be better. And they think they can replace 2+ decades of experience working and building cars
Can you
with
come back, please,
AI
so
model.
that you teach our AI and then we fire you again?
It's just kind of messed up, but we keep seeing this happen over
Yeah.
and over. Every single company is trying to optimize for AI, but they fire HR first, they fire the training department first, and then they don't think about the fact that we have a new generation of the workforce entering in. It's the end of summer. You have people graduating college, going into entry-level jobs that are, quote, being just I don't even know, they're just being destroyed. And then how are they supposed to get the same job experience? Who's going to fix the machine when all of the knowledge of how the machine works in the first place disappears because there's no people doing it? I think that AI makes humans work more effectively, and I would say personally I use this every day, and it makes my job a lot easier, and I have a lot of fun learning. But at the same time, it's more work for me too, in a certain way. I have to learn a new skill and do my daily job and check to make sure the AI output is to the caliber that I would personally submit for things. So people just aren't thinking through these things. And yes, I actually did see a lot of people talking about Fable 5 on Instagram, of all places.
Yeah.
But it's more of here's what to do before Fable 5 goes away, or here's what to do before they start charging more for Fable 5. And it was quite interesting because I even downloaded the MD file on GitHub, and they're walking you through. You have a lot of AI creators right now talking about this on socials, but they're still not being clear on the outputs. And a lot of the prompting that I see compared to what the Mycin team does every day is very rudimentary. So it's you have all these people now trying to monetize AI, but the prompts and the guidelines are still elementary compared to what more advanced forward deployed engineers are doing.
You know what pisses me off the most about this? That it's the simple things and the simple framing of these things that get the most buzz and the virality for the sole purpose of them being simple and appealing to mass audience. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Also, like I feel like especially with the models, right? The larger, more difficult part is if you truly ask somebody, especially somebody who's non-technical, who doesn't care about benchmark numbers that much, so on and so forth. Like, what is the difference between the output you get from Opus Medium to Fable Easy, or like light or medium, and then high and max? Like, what is the differentiation? Like, I'm using 4.8 to get a certain thing done. Is my work dramatically changing by using Fable 5 because now it costs
Well,
10 times more, or there's something different? So the discussion point really over here is that ultimately comes down to your day to day and how you're using these models to solve your problems. I don't think at this point now, especially as the curve is sort of plateauing in terms of its smartness and the marginal utility you get out of every model, that now you have to go back and focus on, I'm doing these 10 things. Is the model I'm using doing them effectively or not? And that's really the question that only matters.
well, the
Connected,
good
sorry, Polina, go ahead.
No, I wanted to address your question because there is a website called artificialintelligence.ai that does the testing for speed, quality, and output of the models from outsourced to everything, not outsourced. So yeah.
Do you use that on a daily basis? Like
Yeah.
to figure
I mean,
out?
not on a daily basis, but when I search, for example, for text-to-speech model, I can see that 11 Labs charges $100 per 1,000 characters, let's say, through an API, and then there are the same models that are open source that charge $1 or $10, that rank the same in quality and speed. So what am I gonna pick?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think the attached story to this recently came up with Product Hunt of all places. By the way, we also launched HiveMind on Product Hunt, which you should definitely go and check out. Shameless plug. But I think something really interesting happened on Product Hunt in June, which was the fact that most of like the top 6 tools, if you look at them, none of them were standalone like AI tools. There were mostly like integrations into tools that you're already using. Goes back to the point of like how better is my work becoming almost on a daily basis. And Product Hunt is a great sort of proxy to understand if really the new tools that are coming out are actually making your life better. I mean, heck, I don't know if we can see this now on this list or not. It might have been updated. But even Whisperflow launched in June on Product Hunt, which is now you can run it across basically everything, all devices, all platforms, all websites, so on and so forth. So that becomes your default. Meeting Assistant, a social media co-pilot, a chat with your business data inside Claude, Mac keypad. I mean, if you look at it, most of those tools are integrating with platforms or like things that you already use. They're not new tools. That require you to drastically change everything that you're doing on a daily basis. I want to get your thoughts on this. Like when you look at your day to day and you think about how different it is, radically speaking, especially on the more important elements which require your cognitive abilities. How different is it now to what it was maybe 3 years ago when ChatGPT really, or AI LLMs were really that good? Do you feel like you're still using the same SaaS tools you were using before, or have they completely gone away for you? Polina.
Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a matter of like humans are, I'm a creature of habit a lot of the time. So sometimes the core tools that I want to use, I use still, right? These are the tools for communication like Slack, Telegram. These are the tools for general like knowledge base or workspace. Like I live and breathe in Notion. I know some people hate Notion. For me, Notion like covers all my needs. And then I layer sort of on top of that, right? For CRM, for example, Notion is not the best. We all know they have databases, but they're not as scalable as like at your HubSpot, for example. So it's kind of like I evolve with the needs that I have, and I always like to do my research first and see like what are the tools out there that people use. Because I live and breathe on social media, I quite a lot of the time see what people are using. So I always keep an open mind. But especially on LinkedIn, I feel like there's such toxic culture of all this like outreach tools, and Vic knows what I'm talking about. All of this vibe coded like video editors, cold outreach systems, and things like that that just make zero sense to me, because I could literally replicate the whole business model in like one evening, and that's what I hate and don't like, and want to kind of. And I learned to blog myself, and oftentimes I would just ask Claude, like, does this make sense? What would be the steps to replicate it? And it gives me steps, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. So there's definitely core things that are built and tested through many, many years, but with the new tools, I'm just more careful. Vic, what about you?
Vic, yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts.
My thoughts are very aligned with Polina. I use my core tools. Those have not changed throughout the entirety of like my career. Slack is still Slack. No one's beaten Slack. I thought for a second ClickUp might come in and like do some damage, but it just didn't. I also don't get shiny object syndrome very often. Like I have to see that the tool works. And I'm happy to do free trials, but at the end of the day, I'm very budget conscious, and I have like a certain line item for subscriptions, and my assistant reviews every subscription every month. If we haven't used it for over 2 months and we haven't optimized for it, we get rid of it, or we make the time to like use it properly. And every single piece in our toolkit needs to work for either revenue driving goals or saving us time and helping our team be more efficient. So like there's so many video editing tools, there's so many like social marketing tools that we have out there, but at the end of the day, I still like Buffer. I still like Opus Video Clip. I still use Riverside. I still use CapCut, like the tried and true things. Although I will say, when it comes to Whisper Flow, as someone who types a lot but still can't get everything out as quickly as I would like because my brain's running way faster than my body can keep up, it's been a game changer because I can talk faster than I can type. I will say though, when it goes down or I reach my max, it's annoying because then I have to go back to like the old school way. But I think tools like that from a like different perspective, I think it's ergonomically friendly for people that struggle with carpal tunnel or like are slower typers. It helps them with their workflows, and so I do love that part.
I will say also, like Whisper Flow, for example, I talked to Tanay 2 years ago. Whisper Flow existed then, and he was one of the most product obsessed founders I have talked to in like a while. So that dedication to product, I knew is gonna pay off at some point. And this, all the vibe coding surge just played a hand into them, and the smart referral kind of program as well. So it's like, no shade to products like Whisperflow, who has been around and really dedicated their time to build a product that's actually good. But the amount of vibe coded tools that maybe work, but like works half of the time, I'm sick of it.
I'm also sick of it too, because I'm just seeing all of these creators who are suddenly AI experts and like doing all these mastermind courses, making an FU kind of money. And I look at their work and I'm like, oh, this is Replit. Oh,
Yeah.
these buttons don't work. Okay.
Which is really, it goes back to the idea that, just because AI can build tools doesn't mean it should build tools. Also, the fact that really, I think what Product Hunt is showing more than anything else is that people have a ton of inertia. People have excitement, but their inertia in terms of changing what they do on a daily basis is way higher than what a lot of these AI companies are anticipating, because they think that the marginal improvement in efficiency and productivity, so on and so forth, automatically makes people shift tools. But that's, in reality, is that really the case? Most likely not. And I think that's playing out at a certain level that we had never seen before, which makes me think about the near future, at least, of a lot of different tools and what kind of plays they're making. Is it sensible for all AI companies to figure out a way to get distribution from being integrated into tools that people already use? Like, and that's the strategy. Instead of spending millions on paid ads or like even LLM ads now, so on and so forth, does it even make sense to do that? Or should you just revert back and say, let me integrate with Slack. People love it. Can I make their life 1% better and make sure that my product's lovability is 4x of what they currently use? Great. I have a great product and people are going to use that. I think that's what Product Hunt is also showing us, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I also just think that anyone and everyone is vibe coding right now. So like having the understanding and distinction of like what is like a true product that's tried and vetted. If you're curious, like do your research, look to see when the website was made. If it was made in 2026, you should have questions. One of my team members was researching new video editing apps and they fell for a vibe coded app and they're like, oh, this product doesn't work, and we spent $20 on it. And I was like, well, this is like a really good lesson and I'm glad that this happened. Not happy that money's wasted, but I think it's important that we have more critical thinking when it comes to like the apps that we're diving into, because there's a lot of stuff out there that has really sexy UX UI and the backends just are all breaking down because there's not product people building. We don't have true engineers building. You can vibe code something, but at the end of the day, like your LLM is still going to make mistakes unless you have a very robust back end and like proper coding, which not everyone has the capability to do.
Yeah, let's not
Yeah.
forget about the security measures, the user information, and all of these things. Most of these apps do not work at scale. But also, there are cases where I believe it's like about terms of service or privacy policy and things like that. If you do not have this on the website link, like people can literally sue you. And I'm sure there are people out there for vibe coding tools who would just like file claims, false advertising and whatever. So
Yeah.
do your research.
Talking about do your research, I think the marketer's mecca is Camleon, is what I like to call it. And a lot of different activities happened over there. There are three in particular that were the most exciting to me, or let's say the most shocking to me. Number one was every agency and company at the event recognized the fact that the agency billing model is the old way of doing things. So, trading time for money was the old, the old guard, and we're still following it. So everybody recognizes that, okay, that model really doesn't work, but nobody has a solution of how it's going to change from time-based billing to maybe outcome-based billing. So that was one really interesting thing. The other really interesting thing was the fact that there was a lot of there were a lot of AI creators that have followings like 20,000, 30,000, and they took center stage at a lot of different talks. They were getting into it. They were directly talking to people on stage and breaking down, making sense of the different, brand marketing activations, AI initiatives a lot of companies were running. I saw, although not the 20,000 example, but ChatGPT was hosting a panel with the C-suite of Canva, and they got into a lot of the creative elements of that, so on and so forth. So somehow, what we've been saying for a really, really, really long time, that creator activations and creator marketing in general is going nicher and nicher. And the fact that it really, really doesn't matter how many followers you have, it matters the kind of eyeballs you have. I think we all knew this, but seeing it at this stage was the part that was extremely exciting to me personally. So, Vic, you are a B2B marketer, creator yourselves. So what are your thoughts on this? Where do you think, in terms of
Ooh.
creator activations, where are we going? There's an attached story about this too, actually. Give a teaser on Forbes building out their creator network. We'll get into that as well. But yeah, I would love to know, what are your thoughts on this?
I have so many thoughts on this. I had so many friends and creator colleagues that were there, and I had a lot of people reach out, ask if I was going. And when I sat down to, again, I'm always about like, what's the ROI about going to a conference? Am I going there to have social clout and say that I went to this thing? Or am I really going to get a return on my investment? Like, who am I going to go out there to meet? And I came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to go. My team doesn't have that infrastructure, and I didn't give myself enough bandwidth to go out and seek the sponsorships to make it worth my while. What I did gather from the research, because I'm writing a piece about why I didn't go to Cannes and what I can still learn from it, is that the CEO is the next creator. So founders showing up and building in public is the new face for the creator economy. That's going to be taking us to a next level. And then as we see technology taking a center stage in culture and in business, we're also going to see this new type of creator, that AI expert that leverages AI to monetize their brand and their business. And that showed up very powerfully. What we also see is this clear divide between like everything being so AI native, AI forward, and like the tech world booming, and this feeling of like, I need to disconnect and I want nothing to do with the AI world. So meeting in person is the new way of doing business. So getting in the room is more important than those curated mass events and happy hours. That intimate supper club, that house party, that if you know, becomes the rooms that the biggest tastemakers are moving and shaking in. And what we saw this year with Cannes Lion is also celebrity power. Like celebrities attending were more for social clout than actually providing informative panels where people can listen to conversations that are moving with cultural zeitgeist. A lot of those rooms were so crowded, so loud, everyone was melting in France, and you couldn't even hear the panelists. But you got the photo with Oprah, and that builds your credibility as a founder, and people want those moments. And so they very much capitalized on the aesthetic of being a creator. And the real creators or the real business people in there working were very intentional on their event strategy. They brought multiple team members to make sure that they're seeding their products on the ground. I know a beauty founder that actually brought her products, got photos. She had her own handbag with her logo, and she was giving free handbags to women with her products in it. And she was able to get it in the hands of people like Sierra. I mean, like if you want Sierra holding your product, like that gives you social clout. So if you go in there with an event strategy and you go in there to capture your content, then as a CEO, it helps build brand authority. But if you're just going in there for vibes, you're going to come out really exhausted.
Paulina, what's your
Yeah,
hot take?
I totally agree with that. I wouldn't say a hot take, but I also would want to say that in the age of AI, right, and all of these tools popping left and right, the bigger brands like Microsoft, Canva, they are in the race of like, brand awareness as much as possible. And there's only ads and everything else only can go this far. What you're trying to build is trust in the age of AI a lot of the times, because oftentimes we'll look at things and we're like, is this AI? Is this not AI? Is this real? Is this not real? So there's always this question of like, do I trust that this is real or not? And when a creator that you know and love, and maybe they have 20K followers, and to me, to be honest, like micro influencers are oftentimes have higher trust index, are what those brands need to extend their reach and just leverage the trust of others to grow further. They don't really need, like, what they need are more power users, and I feel like when they do leverage the trust of these established people, they get more power users than just people who would, you know, sign up for the free trial and let it go, because they already think, okay, if ChatGPT is using this tool, it must be working, so I have to make it work, even if this button is not working right now for me. Maybe it's my issue.
I also think it's indicative of a larger trend that's happening, which is brands want to be more approachable, more personable, more, you know, less polished than what has been taught to be great advertising. So we're almost going in the opposite direction of that. And these creators and influencers are a great proxy to do that. Another thing that, you know, attached part to that that's been really interesting about Can Leon is the rehab of AI in marketing. So marketers, largely speaking, marketers hate it. You have almost like a love-hate relationship with it because, yes, I got to use it, but do I want to? Is my life significantly better? Am I saving significantly more time than I was before? Is my brain really working better or worse? The consensus seems to be that people generally tend not to like it as much as they like it. So using a lot of these creators to rehab the image of AI, because most, it was interesting you stated the founder part of it, Vic, because it is these AI founders that have gone out and, you know, spelled Armageddon for the world, saying that, you know, your jobs are going away, AI is going to take it, blah blah blah, and then they get backlash at commencement speeches and colleges and social media, and then they're surprised. Oh my god, like how? This is such a great thing, but they're the ones that propagated that message, and now they're paying the price for it. So it's an interesting piece to look into, definitely. Attached story to this, the almost sidetracking just a little bit, is SheaMoisture. So I want to know your thoughts on this, because it goes back to the social listening bit of it, and what they essentially did, and which they accepted as well, was instead of like using like a traditional social listening tool, they essentially sat down, looked at thousands of ads, and then figured out what their creator and UGC strategy would be. I want to know, like, in terms of when you're looking at running a creator or UGC campaign, right? You're looking to spend money on that. Most brands will have a brief. They will send it to creators, and then they would hope and pray that they stick to that, and, you know, you get the kind of result that you're looking for. What SheaMoisture did is took the opposite approach. They figured out what the creators were talking about and how they were talking about the pain points, consumed tons of content around it, and then figured out, like, let's go to these people and say, hey, you have this pain point. You've spoken about it. Here's our product and how it can solve it. We want to partner with you to run a campaign. How would you like to do it? So flipping the script of how like a creator campaign is supposed to be run. Do you feel like this is indicative of a trend, or do you feel like most brands are still gonna follow the I have a brief, follow it, or go to hell?
I personally think that this is the new trend for UGC. People are over being sold online. TikTok shop is like kind of cringe. The reality is we want to see products that you actually like to use that resonate with you. Like, I have wavy hair. This product is huge. Curl patterns matter. How I take care of my hair in the shower, after the shower matters. So going and doing this type of user research and then saying, hey, how would you film this piece? Like, what would resonate with you? works because the people consuming the products also know what they would want to see and what would be convincing to them rather than following a script. I think the scripts worked a couple of years back, but then you see the Kardashians charging $1 million for an Instagram post with like very low return on investment. Whereas you can reach out to micro creators who have a true core audience that buys into whatever they're selling, and you're going to see a lot more profitability for your brand come from that. Not to mention word of mouth. Women are control about 74% of the spending, and women talk to women, and if they like the founder and they've met the founder, especially for those small indie brands, they can go such a long way. I met the founder of Tomorrow Today at a conference. I bought her product because I just liked her, and I was like, well, let me support you because I get it, it's hard. And I went into a different conference a couple months later, and we were talking about our favorite beauty products, and I was like, oh, there's this Australian girl, and her name is Indy, and she just started a product line, and I really like one of her products. I bought it from her, and they're like, oh my God, you know her? That's so nice. And it was such an organic thing. She didn't pay me to say that, but because I liked her and then her product worked, I can now be an advocate for her. And I think that's what we're looking for in an online space. So as much as you're able to curate authentic voices and find those micro creators that have sway in their micro communities, you're going to go a lot further. And that's what brands are leaning into now.
Polina, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree. When was the last time that you watched the YouTube ad read mid video?
Yeah.
I skip them all the time. If I'm not paying, if I'm paying YouTube Premium, I don't want to watch ads within the video too. So the ad reads just don't work anymore. And also in respect to the creator that you want to work with, just give them, some room for creativity, because oftentimes they know their audience best, and if they like your product, they will make it their worthwhile to create something that they know would resonate with them.
I also think it's like those creators that feel like your friend who you have things in common with. Like if I'm gonna go shopping, I actually go and I look for the creators that have a similar body type to me, right? I trust her advice more than I would that someone a size 2 because she's just not gonna work, or someone that's in their early 20s because it's probably not work appropriate for me. So people are looking for people who they have things in common with and they can build organic trust with. And I think that goes into everything. This is why we're going back to that IRL loop. If I can't touch it or see it, then is it even real? And
Yeah,
AI is making
building.
and exacerbating that issue.
It's a great article by Adweek, by the way. Building trust before the click and really understanding the pain points of your customer is extremely important. Switching to doing this at scale. So this went completely under the radar. I do not know why more people didn't talk about it. But Google introduced a bunch of updates on how ads would work in the AI mode. So the AI mode itself is a very controversial piece of tech at the moment because Google got sued about it in Germany, and it was and the ruling by a German court was that Google is responsible for what shows up in the AI mode. So they do not have the protections that they do in fair use, but or what is it? It's not called fair use. It's called something else. Essentially being the platform. So they are no more a mediator. If their AI mode suggests a fact and it's false and somebody acts on it, Google is liable for that. So AI mode itself, very controversial, but they did release a few different ad types. So there are conversational discovery ads, highlighted answers, AI powered shopping ads within AI mode itself, and then business agent leads, which is basically replaces the forms on website to doing it natively on AI mode itself. I want to know your thoughts. So obviously we spoke about this in the first live stream, but I think when Google does it, it's a whole different scale. I think Google is at an inflection point where they're trying to figure out is the business model of ads really going to be the moat to survive? This seems like a step in that direction. But as a business owner, are you really thinking about Google can show my product in whatever way, shape, or form they do in conversational AI mode? Do I want to take the risk of doing that? And then what kind of input output vector am I expecting? Because with Google Ads, it was really simple. You put a copy, you put headlines, there's a certain expectation that was set. With these ads, it's way more dynamic, and you don't really know how that's showing up. So, yeah, I would love to know, do you feel like Google's new ad model has any legs to stand on? I think I put my co-host in a bit of a mindful coma of, oh, okay, we gotta really think about this.
I mean,
And it's so surprising to me personally, because like nobody talked about it. Nobody mentioned this, that they've released this, and it's most likely going to be rolled out, mid of this year or end of this year, so really soon. And the news is about a month old, but nobody really talked about it, which is surprising to me. So makes me wonder.
But how would they know the preferences specifically?
Yeah. So if we take a look at the article, so they even showed a few examples of like how this looks like. So you go, you search, and then there's a sponsored section within AI mode that you get an answer for. What I'm
Yeah.
really confused about is
This is
AI
more like
mode.
ChatGPT ads, no?
Yeah, exactly. But
And
I
everyone
think
hates ChatGPT ads.
I think so. There was this YouTuber that did a test. He spent about $1,500, $1,200, really small, small experiment to figure out how ChatGPT ads work and like what's the result you can get out of it. And the cost per click, guess how much that was? Guess what the number was?
What was
Cost
he
per click.
advertising?
He was advertising it was something related to e-commerce. It was a product. So it was an e-com ad. What would the CPC be for that?
Well, ecom is very broad. I don't know, $5.
Vic, any guesses there?
10.
10? It was $13 for a
That's
click.
very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
nobody wants to click on an ad within ChatGPT, like when it pops up.
Yeah.
Like it's
I think it
annoying
goes.
more than anything.
It's an interesting point because they're betting on this, that this is going to work, because they understand that they've built an empire on advertising. And now there is a new way to pitch these ads, but nobody really wants to interact with them. Goes back to the YouTube reads thing that we were talking about. And
Mhm.
now it's coming in here, but you don't really know if this is exactly what you want or not. So
I mean, it's just a matter of how they are placed, right? If it's a like this sponsored product, it's the same as sponsored link or something like this. Sometimes I would just click out of spite.
Yeah.
Like pay. But if it's if we're talking about search in general, if we're talking about search in general and like IO, SEO for AI, it can be more subtle, because if when you're doing research in ChatGPT and you click on links, you will see that all these links have UTMs to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
right? So essentially, they could just run a huge affiliate like network like thing for products specifically. It's just a matter of making it work with different providers and making it more subtle in that way. I get the attribution is figuring out the attribution there is hard, but we keep coming back to the thing where people don't like to be like upfront sold something. Same with creators, same with just general advertising right now. So yeah, if they figure out how to make it more subtle and just do their IO magic and put their the people who pay higher in search in the chat, they should be golden.
Yeah.
I
Vic,
don't know.
put a fine
I
point on it.
I also just think that when I look at this, a lot of people don't use AI for like shopping yet. Like, and yes, you have your AI mode, and like I've been interfacing with Google, and I still go to Google for simple things like find me a restaurant, find me a red dress, all those things. But like I never pay attention to the ads. And I'm not spiteful, or I'm not clicking to make people pay, but I still go and I scroll down to brands again that I know and trust. And if they're gonna run like targeted ads to me, like it has to be done very tastefully because I ignore most things. Like I think we're in an environment where everyone is used to being sold on every platform they go to, that it becomes white noise. And that could be why these sponsored product links aren't really working for them. I don't have a solution per se, but I think that there are more subtle ways to go about this than what they're currently doing. And that's all I have to say. That's why I was stumped. I'm like, oh yeah, more about ads, like more ways to make money.
I think it'll take getting used to it, and also just by the nature of what these LLMs have set in terms of expectations, people will have a much harder time getting adapted to it than was the case with Google ads and search result ads. So this is a different ball game altogether, which is why they've not rolled it out publicly. They've just selected a few partners and they're running an experiment with it. Anyway, that was water cooler. And heading to Markdown, we have Lizzie Lawley with us today, and I'm super, super excited to have her on the show. Lizzie, welcome to Chain Reactions.
Hi, great to be here.
Lizzie is head of applied AI, Memrise, and co-founder of Wombat. So we're going to be breaking down one of the internal tools actually that Wombat has built. So I'm really excited because I think nobody's seen this, right, Lizzie? It's internal, right?
Yeah, within Memrise, yeah.
You're getting a first look to it. So I'm excited. Lizzie, just take a minute. Give us a 60-second intro in your background, what you've been up to, and what are you showcasing us today?
Sure. So I've got a kind of a spotted background. I was a pilot, and then I did some other bits and bobs. I did some product design. I've been around. I feel like a lot of founders and entrepreneurs just kind of they have extreme ADHD, and they just go, oh yeah, I want to try this for a little while. And you end up going and exploring lots of different avenues. I made an AI girlfriend that took off, which I didn't expect, and it took off through LinkedIn, of all places. And not OnlyFans, I was blocked on OnlyFans. But yeah, from that AI girlfriend, basically I made a platform that could handle millions of simultaneous AI interactions and also route those AIs to a more cost-efficient model. And this was basically to support that AI girlfriend, AI boyfriend business that I made. In the end, I actually shut that business down, but I ended up with a massive platform that could handle millions of interactions simultaneously. And it was a really good plug-in to Memrise, which is a language learning company. A lot of people want to learn languages using AI, but obviously it can get very, well, back in the day, it was quite expensive to learn languages with AI because you'd have to have, like, for real time, for example, it's just really, really expensive. So yeah, I built up Wombat. We supported Memrise AI infrastructure for the buddies. Then in December, I became a refounder of Memrise and now the head of AI within Memrise. So yeah, what I want to show you guys today is how we in Memrise are using agent orchestration for growth. So it's not anything that's user-facing. It's literally just us within our teams. And I want to just go through the structure of our build machine and our chat machine, because the actual UI of this doesn't exist. It's within Slack. I'm one of those people who likes to put things inside of other things. At home, everything needs to go in its own box. But also within UIs, I hate having to navigate a new UI. If I go to Slack every day, I put it in Slack. If I go to WhatsApp every day, put it in WhatsApp. So yeah, I want to firstly show you guys a little bit about the system and how it works just within a Miro doc, so you get the context, and then we can have a play around with it in Slack.
Let's do it. You can, I think you can share your screen. You should be able to.
Cool. Okay.
Let's get into it. Let me play some tunes while we wait.
Some jams on.
Okay.
So, yeah, whenever you're ready. We're not going to go through all this. This is massive. And it is lots of interconnecting agentic systems, and this is just one pillar of it that fundamentally helps our growth team. There's a lot of secret sauce. I can't go into it, but I can get as close as possible to it. And obviously, there's a lot of text here. So I'm going to summarize things. Please interrupt me if there's anything that you're like, hey, well, how does that work? Happy to explain it. I'll just give like a top level of
yeah, sure.
So yeah, this is how our agentic flow works. So we've got a lot of inputs into this machine. As you guys know, you need to give the AI relevant context so that it can actually do things properly. And that context that we put into this particular part of the machine is, transcripts, app reviews, Zendesk tickets, any synthesis or experiments we've done in the past. We put in some product inputs. So what our beliefs are, what our pedagogy is, particularly for Memrise, our current hypotheses about what will help us grow, any constraints we have, product decisions. Data, we've got this hooked into Athena and BigQuery and Zendesk. It's hooked into basically all the data inputs as we possibly can. And it also helps us with our work streams. So if you start chatting with the AI and you have a concept for a new experiment, or if you want to iterate on experiments, it will actually do the whole flow from Slack all the way to Asana and then push that ready to the build machine, which is a whole different ball game. So yeah, I just before I go kind of deep diving into the back end of, well, not back end, but like the thing of it, these are the core principles of this agentic flow. So context first. The main thing that I've found whenever I've been working with agents is that if you're working off old context, it will always go wrong. It will always, okay, I'll zoom in a little. Ta-da! Can you see it now? If you're working off old context, old assumptions, old experiments, old data, old tickets even, the AI will just go on random rabbit hunts and you're spending a lot of tokens for no reason. Always using the cheapest, most efficient model. You can make massive agentic flows, and if you don't hone in on the models and model routing, you're going to just spiral out of control really quickly. Single bounded slices, this is more of the build side, and multi-agent disagreement is a feature. So when you're talking about experiments or talking about different things that you want to try within the product, having an adversarial AI, not one that's going to be like, your shit on a stick idea is great. Like one that's actually going to be like, no, I don't agree with you, or several AIs from several different models or companies. It's built in and baked in as a feature. Objective beats vibes. Whatever data says is better than just kind of guessing and finger in the air. I think it's this way. And these are kind of more technical things, but basically every failure is going to teach this growth machine. It's going to be feedback to it so that everything that we get wrong will go back into this growth machine so that when we make another experiment, we can improve it and make it better. Any thoughts on that from you guys before I...
Yeah, like I would love to know, so in terms of how much money and time do you think this particular tool that you built has saved the team, if you had to estimate?
Woof, oodles and oodles. That's a technical number, but just kind of asking the growth team how long these kind of things would usually take, and also chatting with Bob Mester, because he's obviously done, he's basically, his methodology is what we follow for all of this. Chatting with them and getting them to use BYOB, which is bring your own Bobby, to see the difference in how you generate experiments and come to conclusions and find patterns and correlate those versus how you would do it normally is months of work in hours. It's just completely changed the game. And I heard you guys talking a little bit earlier about a lot of people just being able to build anything and vibe code anything, and you can put whatever online. And like, I think that it's great that can happen, that anybody, you can be on a shoestring budget, and if you've got a fantastic idea that you can try and launch it, I think that that's great. But the problem that we're going to get is a lot of people are going to launch crap into the ecosystem. But the only way to get around that, at least especially if you're working in a big company like Memrise, is actually having a really solid framework and methodology, and having agents that have the full context, so that when you're building, you're not just building for the sake of building, you're actually building something that's honed in and has a reason to be alive, right?
Makes sense. Vic, Polina, you got any questions for Lizzie before we move ahead? Okay. No,
not on
Lizzie.
my end. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, let's get into a demo, Lizzie. I think we're all excited about it.
Sure. Let me just very, very quickly just run over how it works. 2 minutes, and then I'll demo it. Just because the demo is quite underwhelming, because it's literally just chatting with something in Slack. But yeah. So essentially, it's got an orchestration layer, which runs on different loops. So this is basically what we're going to be demoing today. So you can do the self-synthesis or manual synthesis. It's got so much context in its backpack that you can ask a product question, find an opportunity. If there's something wrong in the product logs, some user feedback, a bug, whatever you want to focus on, you can go and ask this BYOB, bring your own Bobby. And what it will do is it'll give you the relevant context bundle. Like, yeah, a user was having this, 200 users were having this. Oh, okay, you guys disappeared and that scared me. So yeah, it'll give you the context bundle, like, okay, millions of users are having this problem on Android, so we're going to give you all the context around user interviews that we've done with Android people, what their problem is, any error logs, anything that we have in Zendesk, and we're going to try and riff this and make an experiment to kind of get the framing of what we actually need to build ready and relevant and ready to go. Then it challenges you. So it'll be like, okay, if you want to make X idea, pros and cons, these are things I think, this is good, this is bad, and then it'll attach evidence. You can then go into an experiment shaping loop where basically you just pressure test this with human. Does this sound right? Does it not sound right? We have growth experts that have been training their whole lives for this. They can pretty much sniff when it's not going right, or it's just making stuff up or hallucinating. And then prototyping loop. So it can make everything Claude Design for you, and then a build ticket loop, and then we have the human gate. So that's essentially the whole flow in a nutshell. So yeah, I'll show you. How do I just quickly share everything on my screen? Let me go to entire screen. Cool. So like I said, it's just Slack. It's just Slack, baby. There's nothing more to it here. And how we interact with it, I'm going to literally interact with it on my own Slack home, just because we have some confidential stuff that I don't want to show. The whole team uses the same channel. So yeah, you could just go like, hey, I'm going to just use Whisperflow because I get really nervous when I type in front of people. So hey, what's one change you'd make to our onboarding that fits one of our jobs to be done? Like just a quick example.
So we're demoing Whisperflow while we're demoing Lizzie's tool.
Oh,
Great.
Yeah. It's just like it's my right hand because I'm so dyslexic. I don't know what I used to do without it. So it's great.
What do you think in terms of like if more people could have something like this? What's the larger scale impact? Obviously, it's in Slack. It's simplistic, in terms of utility, but definitely the value of it isn't simplistic. So, if you could imagine maybe 1 million people tomorrow could do the exact same thing, what would the impact be? What is it that would be drastically different than from now? Like, what's going to be completely different?
So everybody has a growth system like this, what the future would look like. Yeah, I would like to think that kind of future would be more relevant to people, because every insight, every change to whatever you make to your app, every ad that goes live is coming from a breadcrumb string from clustered user interviews through the jobs to be done methodology, trying to identify what those pain points, push-pull factors are, and then serving that up to address whatever is going on in your life at that moment, the job that it needs to serve. I feel like before, a lot of the time, there would be a lot of people building features to build features, kind of finger in the air. Hopefully this would become a lot more relevant, especially when people are building whatever they're building or iterating on their current products. So yeah, I think that it would just be more relevant.
I
stuff.
have a question regarding the bot itself, because I'm very like practical and kind of reverse engineering mindset. I see that you're like for design prototyping, you're using Claude Design, which is pretty clear. For the context of the project, did you just like basically collect all the documentation on GitHub, and are you constantly updating it with new findings sort of for the newly deployed products? Or how does it work? Does the bot get the freshest context every time you run a request?
So we have a current loop, which I didn't show, but I can show later, which basically does an analysis of the whole production suite of everything that's going on, as if it was a user clicking through every single option. It takes screenshots, it records logs. It's like if someone used the app or web or Android app, in that very moment, it's a snapshot of everything that goes on. But obviously that is really expensive to run. And it's also, you have to remove it every single day because you've made an update or something's gone wrong or something's outdated. So you have to run it every day. So in terms of the actual current product, it's really expensive to run that, but we do one cron job every night to update the documentation if something's been gone wrong or whatever. And also just update our PRD, which is the current product as it stands. Because even though it's expensive, the AI needs to know how the product is in that moment. So we also have, we store a lot of things in a GitHub. We also use, well, we've been experimenting with a couple of different memory options, because we used to use QMD, and then we changed to Honcho. And now we're going to change to another more vector system because our context is obviously growing massively. Yeah. So yeah, we've kind of got bits and bobs everywhere at the moment. This is kind of a system that we brewed up on the fly. Like it was never planned out. It was like, okay, can we add this? Can we add this? How does this fit? So yeah.
So like from my experience, a lot of people also use this like screenshotting and, for competitor intel and things like that. And I know that there are different tools for that. There's also, the simplest thing would be like Playwright or something like this, right? The cron job that runs like a snapshot of the page. I would imagine you have something way more complex because it goes through the whole product loop. Can you share what the what is the tooling to actually do that, to test this user flow? Because I feel like that would be insightful.
The tooling, so like what tools we use?
That goes through the flow of the product.
So we've built this agentic system kind of from the ground. In terms of like more complex system, the V1 of this was using OpenClaw and agent orchestration, and now we've decided, okay, that worked for us. How do we actually build this better? So we've actually gone in and got developers to go through and build that for us, because OpenClaw isn't that hard to imitate. So
yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. So you kind of vibe coded the V1, realized that it works, and then got like engineers to do a proper like bulletproof system that would be at scalable.
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
sense. I think it comes back to what we chatted earlier before as well. It's like vibe coding is great, but you need solid engineers and product devs.
Yeah.
It will start bursting at the seams after a while, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what were some failures that you were navigating throughout the building process, and like what were some learnings and takeaways that you can share with our audience about that?
Oh gosh, there's been so many. So the most painful learning was how expensive it got real quick. That was one big one, especially using OpenClaw. In the beginning, the biggest learning I had was Well, actually, I think I'm still going back and forward over it. I had this hypothesis that if you use the most expensive and most capable model always, you'll end up. Oh, okay. That was a long time for a short paragraph. Okay. Yeah, if you use the biggest and most expensive model, then it will get it right first time, and then you'll end up saving money down the line. I think that I've gone back on that, and I think just the cheapest, most capable model is good enough. And then if it back and forths quite a lot, then you go, okay, yeah, no, I just need like Opus to sort it, or Codex, or whatever, just to sort this out for me, because this is just it's not working. Or Composer, I actually really like. Sorry.
What's your minimum viable model for this? Like the model that you, like the model that you use to first like run this loop, and whenever it gets stuck, then you kind of take a step up.
It really changes. No, well, we have a couple. I can hold on. I want to quickly show you what the pricing thing is, if it's useful. I'll just share this quick. Sorry to be back in Miro. I know everybody hates it, but it's just useful for this. So this is the pricing tier system that we have. So, cheap operational things like heartbeats, hygiene, changelog screenshots. Yeah, Haiku, low-cost Gemini, Quinn, or whatever it's called. I feel like that's a really underrated model right now, and it's cheap. Then tier 2 for anything that's planning, context shaping, whatever, 5.5 low, Sonnet 4.6. Tier 3, if you want to make some production code changes or big file changes, this is particularly in development. Codex, Sonnet, Gemini, and obviously tier 4 is Opus. Any other premium models that can handle it. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. In terms of growth, we don't really ever need to get to Opus, unless we want to do some really hard thinking on something. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I was expecting this type of answer because, as I said before, like running Fable for some housekeeping stuff just makes zero sense.
Yeah. Let me just read.
What do we get from the bot?
So I'll make the onboarding commit to one real-world outcome earlier. Instead of mainly asking broad questions, I'd ask something like, so it's just correcting me. Okay. Thanks. All right, cheers. I can do an art attack style. Here's one I made earlier, because I did make one earlier, if that's helpful. So this is one I made earlier, literally a couple of hours ago, just to test. So I said the same question. So this is how non-deterministic AI is. I would make onboarding commit harder to the immediate job, which is, what you're trying to do first. I guess that's what he was saying here too. And route them straight into the matching for the first win. So, okay, I want to speak on a trip. I want to talk to a family member. I want to study consistently. I want a fresher language. And then change the starter path, why this fits jobs to be done. People aren't hiring Memrise to explore the app. They're hiring it to make progress on real life goals. So onboarding should feel less like setup and more like, great, I'm in the right place. Let's do the right thing. So if you want, I can turn that into sharper bet. And I just said, what evidence do you have? It's got access to all of our logs. It's got access to Zendesk. It's got access to all of our user interviews. So what evidence do you have to support this? So it's answered, mainly.
Where are you storing the data of these user interviews? Like how is it being accessed by the tool?
It's literally in Google Docs.
Okay, Google Docs. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you feel like?
I saw the smile. Lizzie was like, "It's not that deep."
No, because why I'm asking that question is a lot of people are a lot of people ask me, like, is it safe? Is it fruitful to just connect your Google Drive, Google Docs directly to your tool and let it scrape through to get the answers that it needs? Or is it better to use some kind of other like memory solution? That's what got me curious, because like I think efficacy is a big point in a lot of people's heads, especially when they're connecting their Google Drive to it. Like, is it going to be able to read it well? Is it going to be able to give me the answers that I really need? So on and so forth. So that's where it came from. But good.
Yeah, I
Good
agree
to
with
know.
that as well. Like I do feel like you have to have a certain level of risk tolerance if you want to try and play with this stuff. But I do find, and I've taught AI to quite a lot of people, when I ask them, like, honestly, just between you and me, do you put your company docs in ChatGPT to write an email? And everyone's like, yeah. So it's like, wow, so safe.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, that
But
makes
also,
sense.
you can just create a new Google account for your agent and just, I don't know, polina@gmail.com and to have a separate Gmail. Like I literally have a separate inbox for my agent that just reads through
So
newsletters.
do
And
I.
when I
Yeah.
want, I go there. And that's it.
Yeah.
Just
That's,
you have your life, I have mine. It's kind of
yeah,
like
no,
there's
it's
a
really
wall.
good as well because you have the accountability. I set one up in GitHub so I knew if it was going wrong, and I set one up to answer my emails, and it did answer my dentist and then didn't tell me about it. So that's lovely.
Was there any like realizations about your day to day? Because like we're almost in a flow state when we do the kind of work that we do on a daily basis, right? But when we have to document it, build an SOP around it, get an AI to do something similar, there are certain things you realize about your work that you don't instinctively do on a, like when you're actually in the process of doing it. Was there any kind of like finding or an insight or an anecdote that came out of you building this out?
Let me think. So I think because this has been a long time coming, like I've been playing around with this idea of being able to chat with a growth agent for years, and nobody used it. I would be like, here you go, shiny new growth agent. It's got all this context. Do they want to use it? And it was crickets. It's only this iteration that's actually been useful enough to serve the team. So one of the first iterations of this was the bot would be in a channel and it would answer everything all the time to everybody. And it was the most annoying thing. And it would also, for some strange reason, apply banana emojis to everybody's posts. It's so random. And yeah, people would answer it and they'd basically say F off, or they'd be like, I don't want anything to do with this. And I think that was an interesting finding for me personally, is that, yeah, you can tell the bot to F off. Like you could tell a coworker or a junior to F off if they're really annoying you, but it's actually not productive to do that. And it's never going to improve if you just tell it to go away and stop leaving you banana emojis. So something that I found is like, if you treat it like it's a colleague of yours and you're nice enough to explain why it's wrong and why it shouldn't be doing it, normally it kind of gets the gist and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll stop doing that. And I think a lot of people expect these tools to work right out of the box straight away and be perfect. And it's just never, it will never be like that. It's built in the image of humans, and what human comes out of the box perfect. You know what I mean? So
I love
Yeah.
that phrasing. It's so true. And yeah, I could not have said that better myself.
Perfect. I think that wraps it up unless there's anything else you'd like to show us, Lizzie.
yeah, just the end of this, if anyone was
Yeah.
patient enough to read what was on the screen, I just said, can you just go and build what you're talking about in Claude Design? And obviously this is skipping to the end. This conversation would usually be hundreds of back and forths, but you would get a design like this, which is something like, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that you just go and build this design. What I recommend is use this as a starting point. Like there's so many people, so many really talented growth people who have this vision in their head and they just can't get it down, and they can't get a UI designer to nail it down for them. It's just going to suck up too much time and resources. But actually going like, this is the idea that I have. Can we discuss it? Just launching what you have from all that dialogue between all the jobs to be done and what you're trying to achieve, and throwing it into Claude Design to then actually be able to riff off of it. I feel like it gives such a good level up for people who don't have that particular design skill. So yeah, that's the only last thing.
Lizzie, it was amazing to have you on Chain Reactions. You were the first like guest outside of Myosin to be a part of the show, so this was a special one. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for inviting
showcasing your amazing work.
Sorry, the demo didn't work. I'm cursed with bad demos, but yeah.
I mean, I think the more important part is for us to understand the psyche behind the tool, right? It's more important to understand how you did it. What were the hurdles? What were some obvious gaps, so that everybody who's building their own tools can get learning out of it. I think that's more important than the demo itself. So you hit the nail right on the head. Thanks for doing this.
No worries. Lovely to meet you guys.
See you, Lizzie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So I'm skipping the debate for this week because the last time I did it, Paulina and Blake
There was
put
no
me in a
debate.
spot. Yeah, I'm not doing it again. I'm not gonna play
Wait.
devil's advocate. I'm
I'm
not
a
gonna play devil's.
non-confrontational person. I don't like confronting people. But
We really
in
want
that sense, we
to debate. I
Well-
don't know if that's gonna come out.
Yeah, no.
it's just a topic, you know. We agreed like on the topic. It just
Yeah.
made sense.
Yeah,
You asked marketing
true.
people about CFO versus CMO. Of course, we're gonna like do that.
It wasn't as simple as that. In my defense,
Wrong
I
target
saw your look.
audience.
I saw the look on Vic's face. No, it was not that simple. Well,
I wasn't judging
I'll-
you.
I'll in any case I'll skip the debate because I really want to get to my favorite part of this show every week, which is ADAHOLIC. Here we go, people.
Oh my
So
God. Do
let me quickly recap the rules of the game. Rules of the game are: you both get to see a clip from an ad, which is generally by a very famous brand that you're most likely aware of. You get to see anywhere between 10 to 30 seconds of an ad, and then you write down your guesses on the papers in front of you. When I ask for a reveal of your guesses, that's when you show your paper to the camera, and then we go ahead. There are two ways you can get points. You can either guess the brand correctly, which gets you 3 points, or you can guess the category of brand. So let's say if it's a car, then an automobile, or essentially car. If you guess it's a car ad, then you get 2 points for that. But if you guess which brand of car it is, you get 3 points, and if you guess both of them correctly, you get 5 points. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the game wins the game. That's ADAHOLIC. Let's get into it. I am excited for this one. Okay, let me quickly share my screen and get into it. ADAHOLIC, people. Let's get into the first ad for today.
Boom. Commercial. I was at this super posh restaurant. Super posh. The type of place that has chandeliers and paintings on the wall and way too many forks. I think classical music was playing, but maybe it was jazz. No, definitely classical. The hostess walks up to me and she says, "Mr. Sheeran, is this your first time dining with us?" And I say, "Yep." The waiter comes over, he's telling me about the specials. Super fancy vegetables, fancy sauces. I said, "Sounds fancy." So fast forward and the food comes. The waiter goes on to tell me, "We are proud to present this farm to table blah blah blah, posh and fancy blah blah blah, with a side of blah blah blah." You know, the food looked good. I just
I'm muted. I didn't even realize that. That was your first ad, Polina and Vic. You get 10 seconds to put your guesses down on paper.
Oh, I'm gonna go very.
And by the way, Vic, because you're playing this for the first time, hedge your bets. Guess a different brand and a different category to maximize the points you get. But if you are absolutely sure which ad this is, both the brand and the category, put them down, get the 5 points. Polina won the last one, so she's the defending champion at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, time for the reveal. Paulina, are you ready? She's writing it down.
Yes.
Anticipation, it's building up. Guys, show
I'm
your
breaking the
guesses.
rules again.
Okay, show your guesses to the screen right now. Okay, so Vic, what is your category and brand?
I said CPG,
Okay,
and then I put Verizon because they keep running "Keep It Simple" ads.
Okay, Paulina, what are your guesses?
I have many, but it's
Oh my
definitely
God,
CPG.
okay.
I put food. Immediately, what came
Okay.
to my mind was fish and chips because Ed Sheeran is British, and then I was like, okay, chips could be Lay's or it could be a ketchup, Heinz.
Okay, now I need one brand and one category. You can't hedge your bets that
You're
much.
cheating.
Okay.
You said one.
Okay,
One
food
category, one
and Lay's.
Food and lace. Okay. So Paulina, you get 2 points because the category is not exactly correct, but I'll give it to you. It is a sauce
What?
brand.
Sauce is food. So is
Yeah,
it Heinz?
I'm giving you 2 points. And now that you know the category, do you want to guess what sauce it is?
Well, it's Heinz then.
Yep, it is a Heinz ad.
I knew it.
Okay, Paulina is in the lead with 2 points. Here we go. Next ad.
Let me tell you why you're here. It is the world of luxury that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
We just want to get our car.
Take the blue key, you go back to the luxury you know. You take the red key, and you'll never look at luxury the same again.
It's like I can't see
Damn
the
it.
logo.
Dramatic stop right before you get to see what brand it
Wait,
is.
can
Okay, guys.
can you go a second back?
I wish.
No,
I
that's
wish.
cheating.
I wish I could do that, Paulina.
What
But
cheating?
unfortunately-
You're saying the same thing. Constant cheating.
I know, but I still want to beat you.
Okay, 10 seconds, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9,
Okay.
10. Okay,
I'm ready.
guess is on the screen now. Category and brand.
This
Paulina,
must have
you
been
go
an
first.
old ad.
Paulina goes first. I want to see what she guessed because I
I
know
said
Vic has to do
automotive and
Okay.
Nissan because it's an ugly
Automotive Nissan, you got 2 points, Paulina. It is an automotive ad. I mean, no shit, Sherlock. Vic, what's the brand and category?
Car and Mercedes.
Oof. Okay, both of you get 2 points. So obviously, it's a
It's
car.
a car.
ad.
Car
I was-
is synonymous with automotive.
Okay,
Yeah,
can
it's
you
a car
go now can you go a second back?
Automotive. No,
Okay. I will give you both this. I'll go a second back.
Top commercial.
Okay. I'll just play it again.
Let me tell you why you're here.
I'll close to my screen and I have no
It is the
shame.
world of luxury that has been pulled
Because
over
it's
your
definitely
eyes
not a luxury
to blind
car.
you
It's
from the
some
truth.
like
We just want to get our
Toyota
car.
Take
or
the blue key,
Nissan or
you go
something
back to
like
the
that.
luxury you know. You take
This
the
does
red
not
key,
look like
and
a
you'll
luxury
never
car.
look at luxury the
It's
same
definitely
again.
a car that's mid-level that pretends to be like luxury for the price. It's
Okay.
I don't know this car.
I'm
Tell
giving you
us.
5 seconds, guys, to guess your brands. I will not
I
tell
th- I
you
still
if the
think it's
guesses you've
Toyota or
already
Nissan.
made are correct or not. but
Okay,
put
I
your
know it's
guesses down.
Ford. It's Ford.
Okay, Paulina's going with Ford. Vic, what's your
I'm
guess?
gonna say Hyundai.
Hyundai. Oh crap. Okay. Well, none of you are correct. It is a car ad, obviously.
Is it
But the brand is
Toyota?
Kia. It's Kia.
Ah, damn it.
Oh,
We
Kia's
were very
so.
close, Vic. Very close. Almost there.
Yeah.
But you missed it. Okay. Moving on to the next
Almost.
ad.
Yo, who's that? Yo, pick up the phone. Hello? What's that? Yo, where's Dukey? Yo, Dukey! Yo. What's that? What's that?
That's your
Terrible.
that's your
Really
ad.
made it through.
Okay. Your guesses, people. Category and brand. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guesses on the screen, people. Vic, you're going first now. Okay, what's your guess, Vic?
A phone. Category
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
T-Mobile. Family plan.
Okay. Paulina.
I went with I don't know, tech. Adobe is the brand, but what category would that be in? Like software, I guess.
You saw this ad, and both of and Vic thought it's a phone ad. Okay, I get it. They're talking on the phone, so that makes sense. Paulina, how did you get Adobe? What?
Yeah.
Where did
Because
that
he
come
was
from?
on computer. There's clearly a guy, something about the guy on the computer. He
Okay.
Maybe it's
couldn't
just the last
care
one
less.
they call them. Maybe it's a beer
Okay.
brand. You didn't realize it.
Well, Vic,
It could
you've
be
already
anyway,
put your
it's not
guess down. Had you guessed a beer brand, you would have been 2 points up. However, you
Dang
didn't guess
it!
that.
I was. Oh.
So the ad is a Budweiser ad.
Budweiser, of
It's a
course.
beer. It's a beer commercial, guys, and it's a very famous one, actually. I used to think it's a meme only, but apparently it is an ad. So,
But why would they not have a bottle in? Like I was looking at the beer, but I was like, okay, it's all covered.
yeah,
Is
because
the
they actually
beer revealed later?
later in the ad it's revealed, but they are holding a bud, and actually, the ad starts with, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's saying, "Having a bud, having a good time, blah blah blah." So if he had said bud, it's a Budweiser ad. That was.
You set us up.
I wouldn't be a very good game host. I wouldn't be a very good game host if I didn't. Okay, guys. Here
To
is
be
your
honest,
next
I first thought
ad.
it's Microsoft Paint.
Hey, Mom! What's for lunch? Hey, Mom! Hey, Mom. Where did dirt come from? Hey, Mom! I got laundry!
Hey, Mom, why does Fiona have two mommies?
Hey, Emma! Is it Thursday?
Does this look infected?
Hey, Mom! Hey, Mom!
Hey, Mom!
Mom! Hey, Mom! I'm stuck again!
I missed
Damn
my
it.
Okay, very, very famous ad, by the way. Made for Mother's Day, that's obvious. And you get 10 seconds, guys. Your guesses start. 10 seconds starts now.
Oh,
Dude, I don't know. It's so cute. I want to say the whole thing. Arnav, these are hard.
oh, welcome.
Well, I never said the game's easy.
Listen, I
never-
put down a brand in the first seconds of the ad playing, which I changed my mind after, but I do not have any better option. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
guys.
I think I'm right.
Okay, Paulina, you go first.
I
What's your
go
guess?
CPG Tide.
CPG Tide. Okay, Vic, what's your guess?
I said flowers and food.
Flowers and food?
That's two categories, Vic.
What's your-
Doesn't fucking count.
Okay. What's your category, Vic? Don't try to be sneaky with it. What's your category and what's your brand? Give me one.
Fine. Food is my category.
Okay.
And my brand is.
You can choose a different brand altogether, by the way.
I
So
don't even
they don't
know.
necessarily need to be the same. You can guess two different things. Just to hedge your bet.
Lysol cleans everything. These kids are dirty.
Okay, so Lysol and food were Vic's two guesses. Paulina, what's your two guesses again?
Yeah, it was CPG and Tide, but now
CPG and Tide.
when I think about it, Siri, hey Siri, you know, but I don't see Apple.
You were
in it.
so close. You were so
Or Alexa.
close.
Alexa.
No, it's
or
a
hey,
Google ad.
Hey Google. Oh, I didn't think about that. I like brain farted.
Yeah, I was
Leo,
thinking
you-
like, what else do they ask for? And then I just thought about Hey Siri, but I
Yeah.
never do Hey Google because I don't use Alexa, so it didn't like. But makes
You were
sense,
very
yeah, I
close.
should.
Very close. Okay, guys, pay attention. Here's the
Still
next
no
ad.
points.
Boom.
Be shiny, bright.
Hello.
Be
This is very little context.
My bad, guys, but that was your ad. And honestly, I made a mistake. The brand was almost there. So I played it safe. Paused it. Skipped it. 10 seconds. Okay, guys, time for guesses. Vic, brand category.
I said Lenovo and car.
Okay. 2 points are... Okay, hold on. Polina, what's your guess?
Mine is automotive and Ford.
Okay. Okay,
I was
so both
thinking
of you
about
get-
motor oil, but I do not know any motor oil brands.
Both of you get 2 points. It is a automotive / car ad, but none of you got the brand. I'll give you both 2 more guesses for the brand. Let's see who gets it.
Can you see it again?
No,
So we're just randomly guessing the brand.
you are randomly guessing it. That is correct.
Is it? Do you know the geography of
guess.
the ad?
One guess. Polina, you want to go first?
No, I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay. Vic, what's your guess?
She's write it down. I don't want to say it. What if she steals my brilliant idea?
No, I'm writing mine. Did you
okay.
write yours?
Yeah, she's
Did you
written
write
it.
yours?
Okay, both of you,
Who?
same time. Reveal. 1, 2, 3, go. Paulina,
I went General Motors.
General Motors. Vic, what's your brand?
I said Mercedes or BMW.
No,
Oof,
definitely
good
not.
God,
Wait.
guys.
I have a second one. Wait.
No. You already
You
got
said
a second.
second.
No.
How?
No, you got a second one.
We
Both of you
gotta
get
do-
2 points. Both of you get 2 points. Vic is not in the lead. Paulina is in the lead with 4 points. Vic, you're at 2. Here
Wait,
is
no.
your...
You gave me 2. You gave me 2 last time. I also have 4. We're tied. I got the other.
Okay,
car
you're
right.
tied. My bad. I'm doing a bad job.
Wait.
managing
Arnav.
it this time.
Arnav.
I'm doing a bad job, guys. Sorry. My bad. Okay, here is your second ad. Here we go.
Be shiny, bright.
Wait. What was it?
Let's think bigger.
Well, I've been wanting to try something a little
New?
Yeah.
Bang. Hello, puffballs.
Uh-oh. Mine really puffed.
Embrace the puff.
Just look for the beat.
Told you. Just need a few tips.
Excuse me. I prefer my tips French.
Maybe yes, sir. You could try chrome nails, galaxy, snakeskin, ombre, flame.
Fire.
Whoa. Hold up. Where'd you come from?
Flame woodworking.
But how'd you get...
Okay, just to reveal the last ad brand, that was Honda. So both of you got 2 points because you guessed car. Now, this is your new ad, and you got 10 seconds, people. Let us go.
Honestly, I was still like so focused on the previous one that I have watched this.
I did not process this one. My bad.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, I'll play it again. I'll play it again for you guys. Here we go.
This is so
Be
confusing.
shiny, bright, or bleached? Let's think bigger.
Nice edit.
I've been wanting to try something a little
New?
Yeah.
Bang. Hello, puffballs.
Uh-oh. Mine really puffed.
Embrace the puff.
Just look for the beat.
Told you. Just need a few tips.
Excuse me. I prefer my tips French.
Maybe yes, sir. You could try chrome nails, galaxy, snakeskin, ombre, flame.
Fire.
Whoa. Hold up. Where'd you come from?
Flame woodworking.
But how'd you get here?
This is a harder one, guys, for sure.
This is so confusing. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is a harder one. Honestly, I don't blame you if you don't get this one. I would say hedge your bets. Hedge your bets as far
I have
away as
mine.
you can. Okay.
I have mine.
Time for reveal. Polina. No, Vic, you go first this time.
Cheetos
Yes.
Puffs.
Sorry?
Cheetos Puffs.
That's a
Cheeto
curveball.
Puffs. Okay.
Mine is mine is electronics Samsung.
Samsung was a good guess because Samsung does make ads like this, but this is not a Samsung ad. I will.
This
let
is
you
very
go.
Samsung style. Very.
It is
Samsung
very
style.
Samsung style. I do agree, but there is a larger guess.
Also, they
within
said
this
Galaxy.
ad. Yeah, but no, it's not a Samsung ad, unfortunately. I will let you both guess one more time. Okay, I'm giving you 5 seconds more. Puffballs.
Arnav, I gave it my all already.
Okay. I will skip this one, but it was a Pinterest. It's a Pinterest ad.
No way.
Because you switch from puffballs to baking to woodworking to nails to blah blah blah. It's like inspiration, creativity. Yeah,
This
Pinterest
is-
ad.
That looks hard. Okay.
That one's a hard one.
What if we could create a better everyday life for the many people? For the couples that turn into families, the children, the lovers, for the old ladies, the single ladies, the single mothers, and for those who need to start all over. What if we always side with the many by designing the price tag before
That's another hard one. Okay.
She's
this is the last one,
Googling.
guys. No. See, okay, guys. Last one for ADAHOLIC for today. We're tied on points. So whoever gets this one wins the game. And honestly, the show. So, ladies,
I have mine.
you got 5.
This is the moonshot.
4, 3, 2, 1. Guesses, people.
Consumer
Polina.
Nike.
Consumer Nike. Okay, Vic.
CPG and GoFundMe.
CPG GoFundMe.
I was thinking Red Cross.
I will
leaders.
give both of you a hint. You can see it on the screen at the moment.
Adidas.
Vic, you want to guess it?
No, IKEA.
Victoria wins ADAHOLIC, people. There we go. Let's go.
What?
It is an IKEA ad. Vic wins with 9 points. Vic.
Oh my god.
Right at the end.
Nah.
Polina, that's how it feels.
Damn
You took
it.
it from Vic last time. Vic took it from you this time. The crown keeps shifting.
You know why I
love
thought
it.
of that? Because growing families and they were building furniture. That was
Yeah.
the one thing that I was like,
And it started
Yeah.
with a chair right up on top of a car. And furniture was like a repeating theme within the ad. So
But now that I see it
well-
also like design the price tag before the thing, it's a thing that IKEA does if you think about it. But I thought that he has a logo of Adidas
logo
here,
on it,
and because
yeah.
he said,
No, I get it. And
is it
honestly,
Adidas logo? If it's Adidas logo, I get points
oh, that's just his
because you
outfit.
misled me.
You misled me. I don't even like that came out
Could
of
be.
nowhere for me. Okay, this was great, guys.
Awesome. Well, that's a wrap on this week's Chain Reactions. Thank you to everyone who tuned in this week. This was a fun one, guys. We got a
Yeah.
few. We got Lizzie, her tool, ADAHOLIC is amazing as always. We skipped the debate because I didn't want to debate both of you again and be devil's advocate.
Thanks.
and wrap up a debate in 5 minutes. So we skipped that one this week. But great stories. What I loved especially about this week was how many stories were under wraps and nobody was talking about it, and how many of that we covered. I think that's at the core of what Chain Reactions is all about. So I'm glad that we did that. And thank you so much for co-hosting with me, guys. You were brilliant. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Arnav. It was very fun. Thank you for all the ads.
All right. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. See you the week after next one.
See you
Bye-bye.
online. Bye.